Welcome everyone to the start of a new gameplay series on Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks. I just did a preview video of this, or first look I guess, yesterday, but it's time to start a new series. People have been asking, is there really enough content in this demo version? Because this is the demo, and hey, you can play this too, you just go play the demo. It's on Steam now. Yeah, I think there's enough content in this to actually make a full Let's Play series out of it. In fact, I can tell you that I've put so many hours into this that if I had been recording it, it would have been a whole gameplay series to itself. So, there's only one way we can play right now. We choose the historical. And this is kind of important that it's historical mode because that means the same way things happen are the same way they happen every time you play the game. It's not exactly historical, like the dates don't all line up, but the trend does. But importantly, the triggers, the little scenarios, triggers, I guess. The events in the game all happen at the same time. Every different playthrough. Okay, so this is beautiful, long description about Great Britain. Basically, they're the first. They were the inventor of the tank. We'll be playing as them, we don't have a choice anyway. And I know that you have all maybe seen me blow through very carelessly, recklessly even, the demo in my preview video yesterday. I'm going to do one better this time. I'm just going to skip it altogether. Now, actually skipping the demo has some negative thing. I mean, it's very minor, but you lose 3,000 money. Money actually ends up being incredibly important. Well, no, go figure, right, in a tycoon game. But I should say that 3,000 is the difference between going bankrupt or not. I mean, I lost my last game going bankrupt. I did not meet a contract, and if I had 3,000, maybe that would have made the difference. So once again, I just can't help but be cheeky and go for a shell corporation. We'll choose this one this time. Hopefully this gives me more luck. No. This one. It looks like a turtle, maybe, if you squint your eyes and you don't see the top. Anyway, we'll go with that. And I will choose, I do like this, you know, he just looks like he almost doesn't belong with the others. Which I like, so we'll save that. Okay, so now I am actually going to pause the recording here, do the entire demo, and then I'll see you back for the actual start, which is, you know, obviously when we'll begin the real playthrough. Okay, my mind is blown. Tutorial's just finished, and we know that because it's now April 1st, which is the start date if you close the tutorial. But this is the very strange thing to me. We have 50,000 more money than I did every time I've played this game, which means that I don't know why or what happened, but they've decided that 100,000, which is what I've been starting with, was too little. And I have to say, I agree. The main reason I protest this is because the bank service is not available. There was times when I was running out of money, but I had a tank contract I was trying to fulfill. And if I could just take a loan out, I could borrow against the contract. I mean, I could show the bank, look, I'm going to get paid by the military. And it seems like you'd be able to, you know, that's pretty good leverage. Anyway, it didn't happen. I went bankrupt. So, unfortunately, I'm still probably going to fall back on some of the min-max tendencies. That's not an unfortunate. I'm going to try to restrict myself to some reasonable amount of not going too crazy with it. But just to give you an example of one of the things I want to do right away is I want to get 40 engineers. Engineers, I really find out the lifeblood. I mean, wow, that was the wrong one. Administration. Because I like to do research. It's how I play almost every game, right? So research is going to be very important, which means I want a total of 40 engineers, which means 15 plus 25. I mean, look at this. Salary is 4,500 right now, and when we hire these extra folks, it's now 12,000. So this is not a cheap investment. We really need to get some return on this one. But I'm hoping that being able to do a full 40 engineers worth of research on whatever project we're attempting to research, I just assume that that's going to pay dividends. So we'll find out. Now, another thing is you can actually do a little bit of calculation of the engineering days. Yeah, sure, okay. If you're a real math whiz and you can do things really quickly. You can calculate 850 divided by 8, and that gives you what, like 106? So no, it gives you 97. Doesn't make sense. Well, anyways, what I was thinking is one man hour. I assumed that do they work 9-hour days? Yes, they work 9-hour days. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they work 9 hours days. Okay, so this is 850 divided by 9 gives you your number of days. So if you can divide all these numbers by 9 very quickly, then you don't need to figure out how many man days there are. But it's pretty easy. You just add one man, and then you get the number of man days. And you don't do not hit start, because there is no way to cancel research once you've begun, even if you want to cancel without any progress return. I mean, I feel like a company at some points is going to be like, cut your losses on that research, drop everything, and switch to something new, which is urgent. But that's probably a feature which will come later in the development. I mean, I don't want to give too much leeway to early access games. Treat this game as if this is the final product. That's always been my rallying cry around early access. But I have a high confidence that that is something that will change. Anyway, so we have our one man day gives us 97 man days. So that means that, yeah, we can do the math. How many, like, we can only get a max of 40 people. So if we put 40 people in, it would take us 3 days. But technically on the last day, only 17 of the 40 man days that we're applying are going to be used. So if we wanted, we could cut this down to, I mean, this is pretty easy, 33. So we could go to 33. We'll just do the math here. 32 and then 33 should tick. Yeah, should tick. So this would save us 7 engineers that can go about their business doing something else. You know, presumably designing parts or developing parts in the engineering factory. However, we don't have to be that nitpicky about it. I don't like to be. It's a little too much for me. I don't want to be that crazy about it, just because right now in the very beginning we don't have anything we really want to develop anyway. But we do have some research we want to get done. So this first one I want to do is the female Mark 1, because the first tonnage requirement, or not tonnage requirement, rule the waves. The first kilogram mass requirement is 26,000, and that's a pretty pretty slim tank. So we're gonna go with machine guns because it's a soft attack requirement. They don't need any hard attack. We're just gonna put machine guns on the side. No heavier guns, just machine guns everywhere, and hopefully the army accepts our design. So for that, we want this female Mark II, which will give us 2 machine guns on the side instead of the one like howitzer, and that'll give us a really good soft attack. Obviously, not such a good hard attack, pretty much nothing, but we'll suffer through that because it's what they're asking for. So this will take 3 days. I think this is another one of those. Yeah, this is even worse. Now we'll only be using 6 of the third day's 40 man days. So that's quite a big waste. Nonetheless, we'll just do it anyway because we don't have any real reason not to. We have nothing really that we can develop. So give us those female Mark IIs and we'll advance a little bit of time in the meantime. Okay, it's done. Back over. What's our next research? So in theory now we have some engineering project we could do. We could start getting the female Mark I going. And honestly, if you want to do something like that, it's probably best, I mean, let me think about if I want to do that. It's probably best that we invest a little bit more into any of the whole things that we want. I guess we could do this one. And then this one. Yeah, we'd have to do this one first. Because basically what we could do is try to find... Yeah, actually, this one, the Skeens ball mount is very good. Gives us 2 points in the soft attack instead of what we're using right now, which is just 1. So that might be worth it for the extra, like, 9 pounds, I think, or 9 kilograms. Yeah, that's probably worth it. It's a pretty small investment for a good return on it. But we will have to put a lot of research into that line. Nonetheless, if we want to like focus on getting the female Mark 1 ready as fast as possible, that would be the way to go. And I think these ball mounts actually affect our hull design as well. So let's actually go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and... This is going to take 5 days. Wow, that's brutal. But we'll do it. As the beginning of the game, we're just going to mash a bunch of research. And you know, another thing I thought I forgot to do, or to talk about even. Okay, so here's our first rival, by the way. Well, we're not in this all on our own. We will have rivals, and they will be contributing designs, and we'll be weighing ourselves against them. Well, the army will, actually. Let's go over and say hello, so to speak. William Foster Company. They start with a reputation of 16. I think ours is probably 0. Have 130 employees. That's much more than I have. 1 customer already. Total amount of all countries that operate company tanks. Huh. So they don't have any tank designs, but they already have a tank customer? How does that work? Now they have 4 factory upgrades. I have 0. Haven't done any of that. And they have 1 technology unlocked. Well, it looks like technologically we're ahead of them, thankfully. What is it that I wanted to look at about that, though? That kind of triggered something. 130 employees. Oh, yeah. So I have 40 workers right now, which are completely idle. I have nothing for them to do because I have there's no reason for me to build this this original design that we made in the demo. Or, you know, you didn't see it, but I made it in the demo. Because this is going to be just 89 kilograms overweight. So I'm not even going to put this one through trials because, frankly, every money counts. So I don't want to waste any money on that. So we'll just say hello to our rivals and we'll see what happens with them. Ultimately, we'll see them mostly through interactions with the contracts and stuff like this. But for now, all that is just still developing and we don't need to worry about it. So let's move on until our research is done. Okay, there it is. Riveted superstructure is now done, and materials price has just decreased. So, well, good thing we didn't order any beforehand. What I like to do is, by using this tank as a metric of roughly how much of each item will be needed for every tank, I like to get going and have like maybe at least 10 tanks worth of parts available. You know, it does take a little bit of time for these to be delivered, so we want to make sure that we have them on hand when they're needed, and you know, not be on back order waiting for them to arrive. It's like all those ports in Long Beach piling up with all the there's no inlet for all these goods. Anyway, let's make sure we have our stuff. So a factor of 10 for all of these. It looks like we're all covered except for high carbon steel is a little bit low. And I also know that medium carbon steel is one of the highest demands. So we might want to increase that one as well. Rubber, looks like we are going to be completely fine on rubber for quite a long time. So let's go to the high carbon steel. Definitely something that we'll want to get. And we have 3 choices here. Now, my philosophy on this is pretty... I don't know how to describe it. I don't mind paying with the lowest safety, just going for it. So this is my philosophy. We'll take 4,300 of the really cheap stuff. Even if we lose half, it's still not that bad of a deal compared to Sweden. And we won't lose half. They guarantee like basically 2/3. So again, if they had some kind of like quality mechanism here. Now there's another one that will probably play a role more like later in the game. Hopefully when we have money and this like the decision is one I can actually make. Right now we will be so broke that I need to choose the Ottoman Empire. But 24 days is quite a long time. There might be contracts we need to fulfill faster than that. So there's probably going to be times when we can't just go with the slowest, cheapest producer. Okay. What I said I was going to also look at maybe getting some medium carbon steel. from China. Oh, how exciting. We definitely don't need all that's available. In fact, it won't even fit in our... Man, they increased the material storage from 35,000 to 45,000. Everything has become easier. Wow. Okay, so there's hope in this playthrough. We might actually succeed. In the meantime, how much of that did I get? 4,300. So that's definitely, that's going to be the high, that's going to be the limit. We're still going to be limited on our high carbon steel, so I guess I will get a little bit of medium carbon steel, but we probably don't need much, like 2,000 or so. Yeah, we'll just get this much. Okie dokie. That's all the purchasing I'm going to get for now. So we'll go back and do some more research. It's basically the name of the game in the beginning. Okay, so we got our riveted structures now complete. To get these scheme out, I think it is worth it. I know it's quite expensive, but I think it is worth it to try to get these. So this is going to be really expensive in terms of number of days it takes to get. So 8 days and we can get them. Now I'm actually doubting myself here. We might not want to get that. It's so expensive, my goodness, in terms of research. So we could probably benefit from getting a better engine instead. I know this one should, yeah, this actually does work. Although we're going to need a very light engine, 3360 versus 3600. That is probably enough that I cannot choose it. It's crazy to think, but it's probably enough that I cannot actually choose it. So let's go with enhanced power. This has some good ones in it, so let's do this one. This is only 63 days, so what, 32 people would be enough? But again, we don't really care because we don't have any good engineering projects to do anyway. Alright, WFC, our new competitor, has hired a lot of workers. Well, they're up to something, but we don't know what. Probably building a tank. Alright, enhanced power output's done. Alright, we have a lot of idle everyone, I know. So back to the research. We have finished this. We could do the side valve engine. I wouldn't do it for the engine because this is a tier 2. Type 2, I should say, type 2 engine. Which can only be used on the smaller tank. Which is, yeah, this one, the medium whippet. And that's, we'll get an order for those later, but in this first one, in theory, you could make a medium whippet with a lot of, it has a reasonable amount of soft guns. You might actually make it, because mobility would be really high in theory. I don't know how much it would, I think the tonnage requirement or the weight requirement is just a pass-fail based on whether or not you're at or below the amount. So this one would be really light, so in theory, like, there should be some benefit. It would also be really cheap, which means that even if we didn't win, we'd be able to sell it really cheap to the army, and they'd probably buy some anyway. Well, it's probably enough talking for now. Let's just choose one of them. I am still very partial to, where is it? The idea of going down a little bit more in the power unit. I guess we can move towards inline engine. It does have some. Okay, let's look. What of these are good? Okay, this one's pretty good. This one's definitely good. Oh, this one's very, very good. It's okay. This one's okay. Yeah, so I think we'll go on the exhaust management then, because the top one, inline engine, is a little bit better. Okay, so back to the main board. 2 more days. Your tank design has not yet been tested in trial grounds. Yeah, I'm not going to test that one on the trial grounds. It's never going to see action, so it's not interesting. The only thing which is kind of interesting about doing that is you can use it as a barometer for how good your designs are. So, to explain further, once you have the test trial, you know all these stats, and then you can actually see how well it compares. They'll actually give you a 0 to 100 score. Actually, it can go over 100. They'll give you a 0 to like whatever, but usually between 0 and 100, at least for the first tanks, score on what the army thinks of your tank. And you can kind of see what they like and don't like on this one, and use that to judge what they might like or not like on other tanks. Anyways, we'll just see that when the time comes. So next up, let's go with the inline engine, since that's what we spent all the money on, getting to exhaust management to inline engine. This will take 4 days. That was what again? 8. So that we could do this with 35. Yeah, that's not that big of a deal. I guess. Oh, okay. World War approaches. This is a worldwide event. The political crisis in Europe is rapidly evolving, and there is now a firm belief that war is inevitable. This will be hard times for everyone. So it's interesting that they say this, World War approaches. I don't think anybody thought World War was approaching in April. Now, maybe I'm just not remembering my history books correctly, and maybe this is flavor, or, I mean, I guess kind of a... I think a very unlikely possibility is they thought it was more like World War II, which there was very telltale signs of what was going on. But World War I was just kind of crazy, the way it all went down. I mean, imagine there was no assassination. Would there even have been a World War I? I think so, because all the plans were in place and all that. But, I mean, what would have the catalyst have been? How long would it have been after 1914? Would it have happened in the 1920s? Who knows? It's kind of interesting. Okay, 3 more days. Hey, we got +5 reputation because following the work of the Landship Committee with the subsequent development and trials, finally tanks are recognized as a powerful weapon to be employed by the military. So we have 5 reputation, which will give us something. It's better than nothing. I believe that they use this because when you're calculating your contract rewards, I think it scales based on the reputation. And maybe there's something bad which happens if it's negative. I mean, or 0. Just mathematical speculation, not sure. Alright, next one's done, so this is a pretty good start for the power unit. Oh, this one's really good, so we have to get... We have to. And this time, I am going to take this down to 32, right? Yeah. So we'll just do 32 here. The electric transmission is really good. Probably the other ones are too, but at least the electric transmission gives you a really good mobility boost. I guess I can just show it instead of just talking about it. 3, 1, 1. So this is 5 mobility for a part which is only 115 weight. So now we have 8 people available. We can send them into some kind of task. What do we want to do though? We can kind of take a look at these. I don't think I got the Skeen. Yeah, I didn't get the Skeen's ball mount yet. We could just go with the worst ones. They are cheaper. I might actually do that. Let's just, I mean, hey, we have these engineers. They're available. We'll build like a backup, so to speak. It's nice to have different parts. Some of them which are, you know, slightly lighter in terms of mass. Just in case you realize, oh my gosh, that ammo or those people, I mean, these people we put in their tanks, they're like 75 kilograms each. I don't know where they're getting these guys. But that's I think that's on the heavy side for early 1900s. Where my impression, I mean, the pictures you see, the guys are pretty lean. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So you might want to have a backup which is slightly lighter. to fit, you know, in the worst case scenario when you're just like 10 or 20 kilograms overweight. So in this case, looks like the only thing we're going to add is the ball mounts here. This will be pretty light. Oh yeah, we could add the shell ejector because this adds 1 to protection. 65 kilograms to do it. Not ideal, but I think we'll do it. And this one loses armor, so we won't do that. Yeah, okay, this is good enough. This is our first developed part. Well, after the tutorial. In theory, not our first. So 15 days, that's easily covered in 2 days with our guys, so go ahead and build it. Like I said, that's a nice backup. We can actually get ideas for what we might want to do and like what backups we might want by starting to put together the new design. So assuming that we use the Mark 1, which is, I'm pretty sure the one we're going to use, we can put on the running gear. We might want to improve our engine, but we can do this one for now. And now, we get 1 front weapon for free, but now if we put on, oh, right, well, of course. What's this weight at? 20,000? Yeah, and I think we'll be more than fine with the design with the female sponsons put in instead of the male one. Yeah, I really think we'll be just fine. But doesn't hurt to have those backup parts. Like maybe we'll go into the hull and make it like very thickly armored for higher protection. Maybe we'll build a better engine. I think we will. So, okay, but move on for now. Okay, good, so both of these are done, which means we have all 40 of our people back. Yeah, and this is another thing. It's actually getting near the end of the month. Another thing we could do to save a little bit of money, I'm not sure if it's worth it or not, but we can actually fire all 40 of our workers. I prefer, I mean, that's 8,000 money for them doing nothing right now. So I will fire them and then I'll hire them back. This is not firing, that's what the game is telling me it's firing, but this is actually just unpaid vacation. We're sending them away to Spain, to the white beaches of Cadiz, and go have some fun. We won't pay you, but you know, when you come back, you'll have a job. And by when you come back, you'll have a job, I mean when we have tanks we need to build. We will demand you come back. So we only have 50 people available for hiring. Fire the workers, and the number did not go up. But that's okay, I mean, I think that's okay. We can always hire 50 back. So they'll save us 8,000, and again, the only way I've lost in this game is going bankrupt. That's probably maybe that's the only lose condition, that things just fall apart financially. I mean, that makes sense for a tycoon game. Anyway, we have our 40 engineers which still need a job. More research to do. So yeah, the engine stuff might be complete already. I think that we'll just upgrade the Daimler Knight. I know that we have the Ricardo 6-cylinder available now, but the extra weight scares me. Although 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11. It seems to have really high numbers here. Let's just compare. Oh, wow. Okay, wow, I think I have to take it back. This is so much worse. That if we can at all afford it, we should put in the Ricardo 6-cylinder. Assuming, yep, it does. It works from the Type 1s. Alright, that's fantastic. And we have to make sure that this is very lean, very light, which means we have to make sure we add like nothing to it. Or what we could do, and this is where the engineering, the excess researchers can go to engineer. We could build one of each, just so we have a backup. We can build like a slightly better version of this because we have the original already. And then we can also build a very lean Ricardo. Yeah, it's nice to have options. Okay, but that still doesn't answer what we're going to research next. Running gear. I think that the gear is also going to be important. So let's go ahead and research this. Yeah, and this is going to take everyone, of course, so. Right, it's done. Man, they're still complaining about that design. Maybe I need to go delete that design. So now I can get this, and this will allow me... Look at, a lot of the times, I don't really care even about this tadpole running gear. I do care about it, but not immediately. The thing in which I'm going to care most about in the immediate future is getting like track grousers, which it's a net gain of 3 for only 85 kilograms. It's pretty good. So yeah, the tracks that you can put on, these are usually pretty expensive in terms of weight. Like if you can think about adding only 50 kilograms to the engine, gives you like 1 extra. So essentially 1 point needs to cost 50 kilograms to be worth it. Otherwise I can get that point for 50 kilograms with one of those techs like this. So if we look at that, the snake track. The snake track is actually one of the best options for track. It makes me sad to see that even this one is way below where it needs to be. It essentially would have to have 18 points, and it only has 5 points of like the mobility increase. But it's still the best one, and it's better than since it's better than the alternatives, it's probably worth picking up. This will take, so obviously 160 would be if we had 40, so going to 163 it would take 41, which we can't apply. We can only do 40 at a time. So now we have to figure out how many can do this in 5 days. Well, okay, 50 is 30, so 150 is 30, that's fine. Then, yeah, well, this is easy, 3, so 33. There it is. So 5 days, which will give us 7 engineers time and 5 days, so 35 engineer days, to start looking at other stuff. What is the tech I just researched? I often have to find the news to figure out what I did. I improved track pins. Yeah, I think we should start looking at engines. Hopefully 35 man days is enough to get an engine, to do some kind of power unit upgrade. Yeah, so we have 2 options, right? Okay, so let me just look at what's the base cost. 32, 47. Okay, so we'll do this one and we'll try to keep it, well, we probably won't be able to keep it under 35 man days. That's okay, I can probably buy like 1 more extra engineer or something like that. Or maybe we will keep it under, I doubt it, but okay, so we have 2 for 25 or 1 for 15, but this is actually a soft accuracy increase as well. So this is actually better. So I'm going to choose that. Because it doesn't just give 1 mobility, which is what we're expecting the engine to do. It actually gives 1 to firepower soft. So it's a nice little surprise. This will give us 4 mobility for 85, so that's good to do. This will give us 2 for 5, which is fantastic, so we'll take it. This gives us nothing, so we won't use it. This also gives us nothing. And there's the electric transmission, and the reason why I wanted to use it. For 115, we get 5, which is just fantastic. Okay, and what's our total weight? 3580. So we're practically at the point now where the Ricardo engine bear is just better. And we're at 42, so we're basically at the price. Oh man, this is tough. This is quite tough. I might get the extra engineer now to get these guys back faster. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, so the conclusion I'm starting to arrive at is it would be better not to do this. Ooh, wait. Yeah, this one's better. It's probably better not to do this, but instead... Wait, what are we at? 35 now? Oh. Technically, it is 3... If I don't put the final drive in, it is 3 kilograms lighter than just doing the Ricardo. But let's be sensible about this and just do the Ricardo. Same kind of things apply here, though. So 15 is light. I have to be very picky about the price. So let's say 4. So this gives me, this is like 20, 20 some odd weight per increase in mobility. This one was much less weight, so 7.5 per increase. Because I got 2 increases. Technically, I don't know, the hard accuracy will be useful later, but anyway, so I got 2 like main interest for only 15 kilograms. So that's only 7.5. This one is more like 22.5 or 21.25. That's not as good. We have to be quite picky. So this is also not that good. It's about the same. So it's funny when I put it in terms of how much it is. This one also doesn't make the cut. Oh man, but boy does that carburetor make the cut. Oof. That's very, very efficient. And this one's also very efficient. So we'll do that one. Nope, that one's not going to make the cut. Okay, so this is actually really good mobility. Since, look at that numbers. That's fantastic. So we'll definitely start research on this, but I'm going to have to come back and do this because 54 is... I need to make sure I finish this, which means I'm going to need 9. So I do need to finish it by the time the other research is finishing. So in 5 days I actually need 11 people. I need to hire 4 more people. But we'll do it. Okay. We can do it this way and then we'll just fire them after if the project's done if we want. So we'll just whip through this one a little bit more quickly this time. 15 for 2. No. Yes. Yes. No. And no. Okay, good. So there it is. 4, and we got it down to 5. Perfect. Alright, so there's potentially our engine. I might need to design a middle ground. I'm not sure if that... Not sure. Okay, a tank corps is formed. Acknowledging the importance of tanks, the High Command decided to separate all future tank regiments from the machine gun corps and assign them to a dedicated corps with the official name of Tank Corps. From now on, you can expect development in doctrines and tactrons, tank concept, and the formation of new tank regiments. Ultimately, all this will lead to contracts. So they're just advising, just keeping us informed the various developments that are happening over here. Now, there's currently no real information, but this is the tank corps that has been now authorized by the government, the military. Hooray! That's good for us, considering we're in the tank business, and apparently in the military tank business, before there's a war, when there's no tank, no perceived need for tanks. So we're really this is quite an investment that we, and apparently not just us, but others have decided to make. Really riding. Well, I mean, we're gonna want to be the ones who need that assassination to happen. They say it was the Black Hand, but maybe it was actually paid off by the tank corporations, like a shell corporation, maybe. Who knows? Okay, so 2 more days. All right, we got our engines and we got our research. Good, so let's do the research first. So we always want to know how many people we're going to need to put into it. We got this, we got this. Web track links. It's a frame slot. What is this considered? Tracks, yeah, okay. I mean, we're fine with this stuff. The cast iron stuff, unfortunately, is very heavy. So this is useful. I think getting the mud chutes could be nice, flange rollers. All right, let's do this, and then we can build our gear and be confident in it. Looks like we're going to need basically everyone, so I'm just going to start, go, and we'll go back. We're at the end of the month, so we can just let the extra engineers go for a couple days of vacation. It's only 4 of them. And we'll see the big hit that our finances take as soon as we do transit over a month here. Actually, we do have one more day before we complete, so. Okay, so. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, I see it's already been almost 40 minutes. So let me actually call this video to a close here. I mean, I'll keep trucking right into the next episode, which will probably be going up the day after this one. But for now, you've already gotten a feel for the kind of loop. We research, we engineer, and ultimately, when we have enough parts that are engineered and developed, we design. That's the real fun when you get a contract and you're actually designing and then you're selling. I like that part. This research and engineering thing, I don't know if it's because of the loading scenes or the difficulty of moving all around. Maybe I'm just playing too slow, but it does feel a little tedious. In a way, I mean, tedious taking my entertainment down from like a 9 or a 10 to maybe like an 8. I'm still very, very much enjoying this game. But yeah, I mean, there's a little, if you want to nitpick, you can always find something. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode since it is the first in a series. You know, this is really the only time I ask if you would press the thumbs up or give this video a like. That'll increase its visibility on YouTube, which will help me out. So thank you very much if you're able to do that. Otherwise, I'll catch you back for episode 2, where hopefully we'll actually be able to put together a design. I think we will, and hopefully even win the contract if we can do that. At least see the contract results. So we'll try to speed through that. That'll be my goal, is to get through the first contract. Until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.